Spring is here early. It's like 70 degrees in Middle Tennessee and, you know, motorcycle fever. So I have to give you the setup to this before we go any further, but I'm miffed. All right, well, I have to use the word miffed. We can't curse in the first 30 seconds of a YouTube video. Can't get monetized. I'm a little miffed, and I'm going to tell you why I'm miffed. So for the last 3 days, you know, spring fever and all of that, I've been binge watching videos on the Royal Enfield Classic. The Bullet. To me, it'll always be the Bullet, right? But now they renamed it. It's called the Classic. And the chrome and red one just latched onto my imagination. With chrome and just beautiful, beautiful, right? And I want one, like really bad. Like I said, last 3 days, all I do is watch Royal Enfield videos. Now, keep this in mind. I don't need a motorcycle. I don't need another motorcycle. I have a fleet of motorcycles. I've got these. I've got the ones at the shop. They all run. They do what they're supposed to do. It's a well-rounded choice. But I want this Royal Enfield Classic 350 in chrome and red. I don't want a Himalayan. I don't want a Scram. I don't want a Continental. I don't want any other. I definitely don't want a Meteor. And I don't want a Classic 350 in any color except chrome and red. That's it. I don't want it in green. I don't want it in, you know, the bronze and chrome. I don't want it in any color. The only thing I want, very specifically, is a Classic 350 in chrome and red. Nothing else will do. All right. So I start hunting. And I can't find any of them in none of the local dealers have them. I find one in Massachusetts. I find one in Texas, like outside of Austin. And you know what? I don't have the time. I don't have the time to go fetch one of these bikes. And there's nobody that has anything local. So I says, you know what? Let me call around some of the closer dealers and see if maybe they have one in stock that they haven't listed yet. Maybe they have one in a crate. So I call America's Motorsports, right? And I don't want you to see the salesman names because it's not the salesman's problem. So I call American Motorsports. They have a few different showrooms in the Nashville area, and the one in Madison, they tell me, I think we have one. I'm pretty sure we got one in the basement. I called them first thing this morning. I called them. They open at 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock, I want to phone with them. They got one in the basement, he tells me. But he'll check and make sure. And I give him my number. I tell him, text me back as soon as you know. The whole morning goes by. It's early afternoon now. And I'm like, you know what? This is killing me. The suspense is killing me. I have to go out there and see if they have it. So I jump in my car and I drive an hour to Madison. And I get there. And I met with the salesman, and I told him what I'm looking for. And he says, well, I know we have all these other ones. And I have like 7 or 8 Classic 350s there. They got the bronze and the chrome. They got the green. They got the blue, it's a powder blue, all different colors. I'm not interested in any of them. I don't care if they're free. I don't want them. I want the chrome with the red. So he says, let me go down in the basement and see if we have one. He goes down in the basement, they don't have one. He comes back up. He says, yeah, I wish I could help you. He says, you know, we're gonna be ordering soon. Our period to order comes up. We can put in an order and it may come in. I says, great, I'll leave you a deposit. And if you get a chrome with the red, we'll go through with the deal. And if not, you just give me the deposit back. And he says, fine, that sounds great. So I figure, all right, I'll give him like a $500 deposit, and then I can put this out of my head. And maybe a month will go by, 2 months will go by, and he'll call me up and he'll say, we have the red and chrome Classic 350 one, and I'll run down there and I'll give him the cash. So before I give him the deposit, obviously I have to get a price. So the MSRP on the Classic 350 is $45.99. Now this is, by the way, for a leftover. This isn't even for 2023. This is for 2022. The MSRP is $45.99, $4,600. So he says, all right, well, let me go talk to the sales manager and I'll get you a price. So he goes into the sales manager and I'm doing the math in my head and I'm saying, all right, well, they're going to hit me for some nonsensical charge, the freight and all that. Great, I know. I have to pay for the motorcycle to get to your dealership, no problem. So that's going to be like $300. And in tax and tags, another like $500. So I'm doing a round math in my head and I'm saying $5,500. Great. I'll throw him $500 when the bike comes in. I'll give him the other $5,000, and if not, no problem. I get my $500 back. He comes back out with this. This is classic. This is beautiful. And I went through this last year, and I'll go to that in a minute. So let's go through this here. MSRP $45.99. Now he tells me there's a commodity charge. A commodity charge. I don't know what a commodity charge is. You're going to have to explain that to me, right? But destination, I get destination. That's the freight. I'm going to pay for the bike to come to your dealership. But that's okay. Fine. I expect to be bent over like that. I says, what is this $900 commodity charge? He says, well, that's the setup, taking out of the crate, the uncrating, the setup fee, the inspections, and a surcharge. He says there's a $300 surcharge that goes back to Royal Enfield on the bike. And he says, $300 surcharge? Isn't anything that goes to Royal Enfield supposed to be included in the $45.99? So how are you adding $300 surcharge? He says, well, that's just the way it is. All of the bikes have a $300 surcharge. I'm like, okay. So then he, I went through this before. I said this before. If I go to the supermarket and I buy a head of lettuce, they don't charge me to take the lettuce out of the crate that it came in and put it on the rack, and they don't charge me a restocking fee to put another head of lettuce on the rack. So how are you charging me to take this motorcycle out of the crate that you bought it in? Right? It comes to you in a crate. You can't just put the crate on the showroom floor. You have to take it out of the crate and set it up in order to sell it. Now I got to pay you for this? I mean, I expect a little bit of rip-off, right? So, but that's all right. Again, I'm saying to myself, $5,500 is the number that's in my head. Then we come to this. The AMS lifetime battery, optional. But it's clearly not optional because it's printed. The AMS lifetime battery, which is optional, but it's printed as a standard thing on the receipt, and it's $299. And then $50 labor to put it in. So $350 for this battery that I didn't ask for. It's a standard thing on bikes that they sell. I want the battery that Royal Enfield put in my chrome and red Classic 350. I don't want this battery. Why are you charging me for this battery? And it's a standard upsell. It's $350 of what was the matter with the battery that was in the damn bike. So, as it turns out, like I said, my rough math, being generous with them and not trying to take anything, and I told them it's a cash and carry deal, right? I said, just give me the bottom dollar out the door. So, all right, fine. I'm not going to argue about the manufacturer's suggested retail price, and your profit is built into that as well. But these other things are ridiculous. We're talking about $1,100 over what I would have expected to pay. So, full retail price plus various fees and taxes, $5,500, that sounds about right. $1,100 over what the high side should have been going out the door. I went through this once before, last year. I bought this Super Cup. So I says, you know what? I want a Super Cup because I just want a simple, beautiful, classic, old school thing to just take on just a sunny day and just ride around the neighborhood, big smile on my face, just smell the trees, that kind of thing. I don't want to shoot down the road. I want a nice little motorcycle. So I was going to buy one of these. I go to a local Honda dealer, and they're like, after they're done printing me up the thing, it's like $6,000 for this. The MSRP on this was actually less than this Royal Enfield. It was over like $6,000. I'm like, keep it. As I'm pulling out of the parking lot, it says, Kat, go online and find me a Super Cup. So she finds this thing. It had 700 miles on it, right? Brand new, had 700 miles on it. I got it for $2,800, less than half of what it cost me at a dealership. And it's not that I'm being cheap. I'm not being cheap here. I'm being, don't rob me. Don't rip me off. Like $350 for a battery that why? I want the one that Royal Enfield put in the bike. And just to clarify, because I see the comments already, oh, go get a good deal on a Continental. They're great bikes. Go get a deal on I don't want any of those bikes, and I don't want a Meteor, and I don't want a Classic 350 in any color at any price other than chrome with the red. My hunt continues. All right, I had to rant. I'll see you tomorrow.